Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode here of the RSP Launch. I'm so happy to have you guys on here. We got a good one today. And as you guys know, we started this show last week, and we're going to be doing this every single Tuesday up until Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta, which you guys can get your tickets by simply going to rangerstopatlanta.com. Today's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a good one. It's a good one. I've never had the chance to speak to her, even when I did the RSP Lounge 2 years ago. Unfortunately, you guys know, I didn't make it last year due to flight problems. But Jessica Rey, I'm extremely happy to have her here because that season of Wild Force was one of the seasons that got me back into watching Power Rangers after being away for a while. So let's talk a little bit about Jessica Rey and who she is. Now, Jessica began her career as a model. I have my notes here, guys. As a model appearing in various commercials and advertisements before transitioning to acting. In addition to her role in Power Rangers Wild Force, she has also appeared in TV shows such as General Hospital, The Young and the Restless, and Las Vegas. So, yeah, she's an actress. Apart from acting, Rey is also the founder and CEO of Rey Swimwear, a sustainable swimwear brand that we're going to be talking about that uses eco-friendly materials and focuses on body positivity. I cannot wait to bring her in, ladies and gentlemen. In 3, 2, 1, let's bring her on to the show. How's it going, Jessica? Round of applause for you.
Woo! How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? How's life for you after saving the world and you
You
know
know,
all that stuff?
it's all downhill from there.
that's that's incredible. By the way, thank you again, everyone who's here. They're saying I don't know if you can see the chat on your end, but yeah,
I don't
um,
know how to see that. Do I
they're in here. Yeah, I don't know what it looks like on your end because I'm always the host, Jessica, and
I
that's
believe you. Oh, I see it now.
now
I'm
that's
s
me being the worst host ever. By the way,
I'm
just
so, like, not tech savvy at all, but
it's
now
all good. It's all good. Tell us a little bit about how you got into Power Rangers. I mean, I've done a show before with other Rangers like Steve Cardenas, and it's kind of wild to hear that he was just like, "Hey, I just somebody told me to go try out, and guess what? I made it." So, how about yourself?
it's kinda the same thing. It was my first audition for something that wasn't a commercial or, like, a modeling job. My first TV film audition, I thought I was going in to audition for like a day player or an extra, or I don't know what it was. It was like 2 pages of dialogue. I went in there, they call me back, they call me back again, they call me back again, and I was like, "Man, like, is this how TV is?" Because for commercials, it's like you go in once, you go in twice, and then you book it. I just really was like, "Man, for like a walk-on role, this is insane. And why am I going back 6, 7, 8 times?" And then I went back the last time and I didn't know, like, I had no idea the whole time that I was auditioning to be a Power Ranger.
What
Yeah, I just didn't know.
did you just said, "Hey, I'm going to take this audition and just jump into it"?
Yeah, I had no idea really what it
Wow.
was, and, then the casting director pulled me aside. She's like, "You're here to audition to be a Power Ranger." Then, of course, I freaked out. I went in the room. I totally thought I blew it. There was this super awkward, like, they looked at my resume. They're like, "It says you can dance, so dance." And I was like, like, "I'll dance if you sing," because there was no music and I didn't want to just dance. I thought it was weird. And then one guy started singing and then the producer was like, "She said she can dance. Let's see her dance." And so I just, you know, did like an 8 count from an old dance routine that I remembered and then left the room just like, "Wow, I totally blew that. That was horrible. I'm not gonna get this job." And lo and behold, I
Let's rewind a little bit though. When did you start acting? Like, how old were you when you decided that you wanted to get into this career field?
so, I was working at a TV production company
Oh,
as an accountant.
well, okay. All right. I'm here for it.
And, they had an in-house talent manager, and she kept telling me that I needed to act. And I was like, lady, leave me alone. I am very happy with my calculator. And she truly would not leave me alone. And so she said, if you go on one audition, I'll leave you alone. And I went on the first audition. It was a commercial for Kellogg's Raisin Bran Crunch. And I booked it. And I made a lot of money, and it was paying for my grad school. So I was like, well, maybe, I'll just keep doing this commercial thing. So then I just did commercials for a year, and it was great. Then got like a TV film agent. No one would take me. I hadn't had one acting class. I had no idea what I was doing. So
Hmm.
I submitted my headshot to like a ton of TV film agents, and this one agent, she was like a hole in the wall agent. She actually ended up stealing money from me later from my Power Rangers job. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, she sent me on this audition, and I booked it.
Look at you, and now you've become, part of Power Ranger history. Because I say this a lot to a lot of, you know, actors and actresses and everything that have been part of the Power Ranger series. Is like it's 30 years. Any way that you shake it, you're part of history now. You are part
Yeah.
of television, pop culture, everything that was hot and still is 30 years later. Obviously, with the Once and Forever episode that they're about to air here in a couple weeks, which is crazy to think that you guys have. And I say you guys because you're still part of it. I mean, you're gonna be part of Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta. I see you pop up in different things. Did you ever want to shy away from Power Rangers and kind of be like, maybe that's behind me and move on to something else? Was that something that bothered you, or did you always embrace it even afterwards?
Oh, no, never. I have always been proud to be a Power Ranger.
That's awesome.
I just love it. And, like you said, we're one big Power Ranger family. And, I'm not in this upcoming 30th anniversary thing, but I keep seeing all the promos for it, and I'm so excited to see it.
Have you ever been or have had the chance to maybe speak to the team to ever come back and do a guest appearance? Is this something that you would even entertain?
Oh, I would totally do it. I
That's so
was so
cool.
sad when Wild Force didn't get a reunion episode when they, took the show and it was Disney and they moved it to New Zealand and all of that. I think we were robbed, you know?
Were you part of the New Zealand crew, or were you part?
No.
No, no.
Wild Force was the last Saban season in America.
Wow. Because I know once they moved over, it's like Union took over, and you probably would have gotten residuals up until now. I thought you would
No,
just fight with it.
so my season was the last SAG season, the last union season. Yeah, it's been
Oh,
non-union ever since then.
right. Wow. Look at that. That's right. Because Jason Fawn had spoken about Time Force as well. Because you guys were right after that.
Right, right, right.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, were you aware? I think you were the first Ranger female to wear white. Am I right or wrong on that?
I want to say you're right.
Because I remember it being a big deal to me. I'm like, hey, wait a second, like
So
she's
I believe, and I could be wrong, I want to say that you're right, but I believe that the Alien season had a
okay,
white
right, right.
ranger that was a girl.
But here in America, we kind of took the Alien season and made it into this whole mix of things as a
Right.
in between. So that's
I've heard that as well because it was like half a season or something, right?
yeah, it was during the summer. I remember watching it and being like, "What is this? Is it the transition between Alien Rangers and was it Zeo or something like that?" If I remember, I could be wrong, and people on the chat are probably gonna crucify me for it. Um, what is it that you enjoyed the most about being on set there as a ranger? Like, did you grow up at all like before watching any of the series? How old were you when you got the part, by the way?
Well, I'm only 22 now.
Oh
So
my God, you were like 7?
yeah,
You were Blake Foster
I
then.
was 2. I was I was 2. Don't tell anyone though. I'm one of those like Benjamin Button, type of
Well, I
people,
can
like ages backwards kind of thing.
honestly say to you right now, as I look at you, And I look at your pictures from back then, you still look exactly the same.
Oh,
So you have nothing to worry about that. It's like you guys found the fountain of youth just becoming a ranger. Like,
I
I
know.
wish.
I think that's the key to life is to become a Power Ranger and then you never age. I mean, all of the original ones are just looking the same.
I know. 30 years later, they're still looking exactly how I remember them. Obviously, they're a little bit older, but you can't tell because they're just so
No,
amazing.
it's
And you guys are encapsulated in that era. I hope you know this. You will forever be just that person. I don't care if it's you're 80, 85 years old. I'll be like, hey, you're still that person to me. You haven't changed, you know? Um, your role after becoming a ranger, uh, tell me a little bit about what happened after the show ended. What did you pursue, and how did you get to becoming this powerful CEO of this sustainable bikini company? Am I right? Swimwear?
swimwear.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So after the show, I kept acting. I did guest star and, recurring roles on different TV shows, and it was so much fun. And then I sort of stopped acting when my mom died, actually.
Mm.
And it wasn't because she died, but we went to live with my dad and sort of be there for him so that he wasn't alone. And I wasn't very close to LA anymore, and I just wasn't really too into it anymore. And my agent understood. Um, but being in the industry, I just realized that I felt like objectified a lot of the time. Um, because it's a rough industry, if you don't want to do something, then it's like, you're kind of discarded and whatever, the next girl will do it anyway.
100%. Yeah.
Right. So you're, an object. And so I started to feel really objectified. And I didn't like it. And I think a lot of it had to do with the way that I was dressing or being dressed for events, red carpet events, and publicity events. Not to do with Power Rangers, but just, things out and about in Hollywood. And I realized that I didn't want to feel like that anymore. So I decided to start a clothing company focusing on swimsuits that were a little bit more covered than what you typically see when you go to the beach. And because nothing like that existed, I actually have my master's degree in business. And so I took that knowledge that I had and I started my own company, even if I didn't know anything about the fashion industry. I cannot draw, I cannot sew. And to be frank, I cannot even swim.
Hey, same here. I grew up. I'm Puerto Rican, born and raised on the island,
Okay.
but I moved out of there when I was 8, so I lived in an inner city.
Yeah.
Don't throw me in the deep end. I'll never come back up.
Exactly, exactly. So, I design swimwear and I've owned this company for 15 years, 15
That's
plus
so
years.
cool.
Um, and you don't have to be able to swim to know what a swimsuit needs to have to function and, to be cute and all of that. So I've hired an awesome team of people that helps me with all of that. I manufacture everything in Los Angeles, and all of our fabric comes from Italy. And
Wow.
what I am still doing today, and I love it.
That's so cool. So, have you thought about taking it even to bigger ends? Like, are you in partnership with companies like, let's say, like a Macy's or something like that, where we can walk in and get, or is it
Right.
privately by you?
So, I've almost had it entirely all direct to consumer online through my
Wow.
website, which is jessicaray.com. It's just my name. Um, Primarily because I can control things a little bit better.
Yeah.
In the beginning, there were talks with some big box retailers, but they wanted to manufacture things in India or China or Bangladesh.
Hmm.
And I'm just not, I wanted to go to the factories and check them out and make sure there was no slave labor and child labor. And, women who are actually being treated fairly with dignity, because that's really what my brand is about. Um, and they said no. So I just wasn't willing to do that.
That's crazy. Now you're big into women empowerment, am I right?
Mhm.
As a girl dad,
Yes.
I am big into making sure, they're older now, they're 21 and 18.
You
So
have a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old.
I was watching your season when I was 3 years old,
Oh my
okay?
goodness.
Let's
You were the same age as me.
yes. So I'm big into women empowerment. And this is not the show for it, but everything that's happening right now, and you're very aware of what's happening right now in the world here in the United
Mm.
States. It just infuriates me to, uh, and I'm a retired Marine, so
Oh,
I
well,
feel like maybe as
thank
someone
you for your
who,
service.
thank you, I appreciate that. As someone who has fought for this country during Operation Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom, I might have a little bit of a impact or a powerful voice. That's a no go. People don't care.
Mm.
It's so bad. But I will continue to fight for my girls because that's what I
Yes,
do.
always.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about your future projects. Are you perhaps thinking about doing any more acting, or are you solely sticking to what you're doing with your company right now?
So
You
I
smiled, which means you're hiding something. I know you smiled and looked to the left, which means you're already lying.
no, well, actually, I have my video on like mirror, so
Oh,
I'm not
it's
sure
never
which
mind.
way I'm looking. Left.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm fired after today's show.
um, I I do commercials and modeling still. I'm not really open to doing any, scripted TV. I mean, Power Rangers, I would totally come back
Yeah.
for that. Um, but I have 3 kids, and they act and model as well.
When did you have kids? You're like you were 2 years old when you were in the show. Like, what is happening here?
And so we do family commercials and jobs like that.
Oh, that's
We
so
we did
cool.
one for SeaWorld about a month ago. It was so much fun. I have a Werther's Originals commercial with my daughter that's been running for a few years.
Wow.
And we've been doing that for a while. And it's so fun to work with my kids on stuff like that.
That is so cool. Congrats on that, man. Like, obviously, you've done your stuff in acting and whatever, but to be able to now do it with your family, like your kids like
Yeah.
that, that's a whole other level,
It's a lot
you
of fun.
know?
My husband is not an actor, but he sort of like is forced to do this with us because, they need a dad husband in the job.
Sir, you are born into it now.
Yeah, it's so funny. He had actually had to do a commercial by himself a couple of weeks ago because I forgot to tell our agent that he only wants to do family jobs. And it is going to be the funniest commercial ever.
Oh, I can't wait. Before we get to, I have a little segment here I want to do where I ask you 5 quick fun questions. Um, you you have been removed from the show for a while. I mean, for right. So, have you kept anything from the show? Official stuff from the show?
Well, I was actually given official things from the show.
Okay,
I didn't take anything,
I love that.
but
Keep the
I
word out
have
there.
my original spandex and I do wear it at cons
I
and
love
meet
it.
and greets. That is original and it still fits me. Even if I was only 2 years old,
I
somehow it
love
still
it.
fits. And I have the like civilian clothes. So, like the vest and the skirt and the socks and the shoes
That is so
and the
insane.
shirt. I have my growl phone, my morpher. And yeah, just I have a lot of I actually have some costumes from like the villain. I think because they were moving the show to New Zealand,
Yeah.
they were just getting rid of a lot of stuff. And so I have some of that stuff.
Now, if please correct me if I'm wrong. Your show was the one with Lone Wolf, correct?
Yes.
I hated everything that had to do with him playing the flute. That just that.
Well,
Oh,
sometimes people play it at cons, so beware. Like they'll bring a flute and they'll play it, and then Anne Marie, Princess Shayla will like get up and sing with her
oh
beautiful
no!
voice. I love it. But if
It
you hate it, then you need to stay away.
it just like I remember watching this and the cringe comes to mind, but then I'm like, this is made for kids. This wasn't made for me. So kids are there, dancing around with a like Pied Piper or whatever. And I'm like, and I'm like, why is this happening? Please stop it.
It was interesting. I agree. But people who dress up as him, my cons have the flute as well.
And you're gonna be at Ranger Stop and Pop down in Atlanta this June. I want to
Yes.
know, are you gonna bring your spandex? What's going on there?
Oh yes,
I
yes. I
love
will be
it.
doing in suit photo ops. I just have a lot of fun. Like, I didn't wear it for a long time. I never brought it to cons. And then one day I was like, what do I have this for if I'm not going to wear it?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I
I
actually, I,
cannot.
I did like was it a con? It was a meet and greet up in Michigan. And it was Halloween weekend, this past Halloween. And after it was a comic book store. And so I didn't want to change. I was like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, I just want to go back to the hotel. So I left in my spandex and I like went to check into the hotel. The guy, because it was Halloween, he like didn't say a word to me. He didn't ask twice, like, why are you wearing that?
Can I say that I love you just for that alone, just for saying that you're walking around? You're doing currently. Are you doing any comic book appearances, comic book stores? Like you get booked for that stuff too?
I had one a couple weeks ago. I got super sick. Maybe it was a month ago. But yeah, I'm totally open to
That's
doing
so
comic book
cool.
signings, and I love it. I love meeting fans. I mean, you asked me earlier what my favorite part of being on the show was or being on set, and it really
Yeah.
was our set visits, and that would be tied with just hanging out with like the cast and crew because we were, a lot of us were just like family.
Yeah, no, that I Wild Force was fun for me. I just didn't like the pipes and stuff. Like just the flute, I should say. It just messed me up. I can't even come up with
I mean, I was
the
confused
instrument.
because I thought like, am I supposed to be in like a romantic relationship with the Red Ranger? And then like the Silver Ranger came and they were like, well, in the Japanese version, like I think you guys are like a romantic or something. And I'm like, are we supposed to be a thing? Like, I don't understand what's going on, but no one ever explained any of that to us.
That's
So
funny. Before I get to my questions, I saw something come in through the chat. They want to know, does the helmet actually still fit you? Like, is it wearable? Do you wear it?
that helmet is wearable. Yes. I'm
That's
not going to put it
amazing.
on right now. It
Obviously,
actually
no.
is like claustrophobic in that thing.
I mean, I'm sure. I got a couple. I got the like Hasbro ones, and even those, I feel like sometimes I can't breathe too
Yeah. Well,
much.
no, you can't breathe and you can barely see. When the stunt guys wore those, I mean, and they were fighting, come on, like they're pros. Like that's
Oh
crazy.
my God, that's right. Yeah. So let's get to these quick 5 questions here before I let you go. And here's my very first one. If you could be any ranger from any season, who would you choose and why?
Hmm. I mean, I would just be the original pink one because everybody loves her and everybody loves the original Rangers.
You had a little mix there with white and pink, so I mean,
That's right. I mean, you know what? Someone posted something for Ranger Stop and Pop that we're doing like a group photo op with the pink and I think it was like pink and yellow Rangers group photo op.
yes.
And someone commented on, I reposted it, and someone commented on Facebook, like, you're white. Like, maybe you just want to be included. And I'm like,
Wow.
no, I'm just reposting the picture and they included me because they're awesome. But I just was like,
First off, you still have pink, so that counts.
great.
Some people are just too tribalized when it comes to that stuff. Like they just want what they want, and that is it.
Exactly.
Question number 2 here that I have is, what was the funniest or most memorable moment from any
Mm.
episode that you could remember?
There are a couple. Um, one, I'll tell the quicker story. So in the season finale, I'm narrating the story of what happens to the Power Rangers. And Jack and Philip, Blue and Black, they're best buddies and they travel the world. So when they were getting dressed, they got to wear all these like funny costumes because they had to take pictures at like the Eiffel Tower and all these different places. So Jack had this, I think they go to Russia, and he had this like Russian outfit on with like a big hat. And I saw him in the hallway and I was like, oh my gosh, like that outfit is amazing. You should do the dance. Like you should do like a, like kick it,
Yeah.
going down and kicking your legs. And so he did it and his pants ripped.
Okay.
They split in the back. And I have it on video.
So that's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Today's age, you would just pop your iPhone out and,
Yeah.
take video. Did you have to go and run and get your camcorder?
So no, I had it like all the time with me. Everyone from our season knows that I just
No
always had
way.
my
So you
camera.
have backstage footage and everything?
I
Like,
have a lot. I have
I
a lot.
love that.
Um, yeah, like on location. I have footage from, just hanging out in the dressing rooms. I have behind the scenes.
That is so valuable, by the way. Like,
I don't know what to do with it. I'm
ah,
considering. Tell me what you think about this. So I've been thinking about how to use Instagram like subscriber
mhm,
channel thing.
mhm.
And I'm like, what do I have to offer? Like, I don't want to just say subscribe to my channel and like I'm not giving anyone anything special.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about doing the subscriber channel with all of this behind the scenes, footage that I have.
Yeah, I think you should definitely do that. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, if you're watching or listening, make sure you to pull out your phone, go to Instagram and the real Jessica Rey, am I right?
That is correct.
God, I am such a it's like I've been doing this for years. Yeah, make sure you go and follow her. She's gonna start doing subscriptions, hopefully, for us, fans, and hopefully, we get to see this footage because that's, my God, that's archival stuff that, like, people will probably ask you for that as the show moves on, and
Yeah.
if in the case if it goes away, you have that.
I know. I mean, I have like the moment that I was wrapped from the show, someone was holding the camera for me. It was a green screen, was my very, very last scene. And I have just when they called like final picture wrap on me and I just burst into
Oh
tears and
my
went around and
God.
hugged everyone and everyone was crying and it was I mean, I cried like I watched it not too long ago. I rewatched it and I was like crying watching it,
Well, listen, if you
so
need
emotional.
any help figuring this stuff out, TikTok subscriptions,
Yeah, I
Instagram.
just don't know what to do with it. I mean, I'm not on TikTok. I'm on Facebook and Instagram,
Yeah.
and I'm just sitting on all these
Yeah.
the tapes, because I was only 2 when I filmed
I
this.
I know. I can't believe you even held that camera.
And, I had to buy an old camcorder to be able to play and, like, figure out I had to research because 'cause I'm not
Yes.
tech savvy at all, but what chords I needed to hook it up to my MacBook and, be able to play it and all of that. So, I also consider, like, maybe I could do, like, a screening of some stuff with a panel at a con, like but that would just be for people at the con. I feel like it should be something more
I
that
agree.
people who are wherever they are can, watch it.
I 100% believe you should do that. You have my email.
Yes, we'll
If
talk.
you ever need
We will
help with
talk.
any of that stuff, my number's on there too. I'm on the East Coast, but if you ever need anything, I'm up till all hours of the night. Here's another question for you. Which villain from your season do you think was the most menacing? Do you remember any of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the 2 Jindrax and Toxica were like,
I mean, you fought them, right?
yeah, I mean, they were just kind of like clowns, like comedic relief most of the time. But I really think Master Org, our, like, main villain, was
Yes.
just creepy as heck, like, with that eyeball, like, in the
Yes.
middle of his forehead and, all the crazy makeup and stuff that they put on him and his voice,
Yeah.
all of it. Like, I think he was if I was a kid, I would be scared to watch because of him.
Well, you were a kid, so you were definitely scared to act
Exactly.
with him. So, if you had to create your own team with 5 characters from any of the TV shows, who would you choose?
Oh, 5 characters from any of the seasons?
Yeah. If you want to just put your own team together and go kick butt.
Hmm. Well, obviously, I would have to be one of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'd be the
Uh,
Zordon, though. You'd be like, team, I'm here to put you together.
I would have Cat.
Mm.
Um, I actually would maybe have no, I was gonna say maybe I would have an all-girl team. but maybe like Kat and Nakia and me, we would have
That
three
would be
girls,
so cool. Like
you
that
know?
hasn't even been done, I think. So
No,
like I feel
three girls. Why is there always only two girls or
yeah,
one girl?
always. Oh, one girl. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it needs to be three.
Yeah.
And then guy wise,
We should have one guy just to switch
just
it all up.
one, four
Yeah.
girls and one guy. Who
Yeah.
should my other girl be?
Oh man, we have so many. I you know who I like from the current season? Amelia, she the Pink Ranger from
Oh, yeah.
she's
Let's have
awesome.
her.
Yeah.
Oh, and then my Red Ranger would be Brennan
Yes. Yes.
because he's awesome.
Yes.
So
He is
that would
so
be
cool.
he would just be like outnumbered though, because four girls and
I
one
don't see him ever complaining about that.
guy.
What was the most ridiculous, and this is the last one. What was the most ridiculous or over the top weapon, gadget, or vehicle that you remember that they made you try while filming?
Hmm. Ridiculous.
Because Power Rangers usually makes weapons over the top, ginormous
Well, I mean,
cannons.
I just think that my main weapon, which was a baton, which hold on.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh my, hold
My
on, hold on.
baton.
I'm making you the main screen. There we go. Look at that.
Like, this is a little bit ridiculous as a weapon, don't you think?
No, I think it's great.
I should be like one of those, like people in a drill team
Oh
or
yes, yes.
like how do you but I think it speaks to the power of my character because she didn't need anything but a ridiculous little baton.
That's it. That's it. And because you had baby hands, and
Exactly. This
eh,
could this could be a flute though. I could
no, no, let's not do the flute, please, ladies and gentlemen. Let's end the show on a high note. Um, my last thing is, it's crazy because you had your shade of pink in your spandex. You're obviously the white tiger, which is original White Ranger. Was also White Tiger, which was really crazy. Like you
right.
have so much um lore and aura about you, and being I think in my brain a full-time white female ranger, and it's just cool. It's just overall cool, especially for fans and anyone who's watching or listening and has continued to follow the series and is just a fan. You gotta put that footage somewhere to good use, though. That
I
is the most
do. You're
important
gonna
thing.
have to help me brainstorm.
I got you. I got you. So, before we end the show, I want to say thank you to everyone who came in to watch us here at the RSP Lounge. I will be coming back again next Tuesday, and next Tuesday we'll be talking about the 30th anniversary special.
Ooh.
Now, it won't be a live show, so you guys make sure to subscribe because I'll be at Disney. I've never been there, so I'm gonna pre-record the show and pop it in there for you guys. Jessica, where can the people follow you, watch you, whatever, buy your swimwear if they're inclined to?
Um, the swimwear is jessicaray.com. And on Instagram, I'm the real Jessica Rey, not the fake one. There is a fake one,
There is a fake one.
but I'm the real one. And on Facebook, I'm just, this is ridiculous that I have like two names. On Facebook, it's Jessica Ray because Jessica Rey was taken.
Okay, girl, I see it.
Jessica Ray.
Yeah, that's your stage name, your rap name, all of that
That's
good stuff.
right.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere as the show ends. We'll talk as everything kind of just disappears. For everyone else, thank you again for tuning in. We appreciate you, and subscribe. This is where it's all going down. We're also going live from Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta through
Yes.
here. Go get your tickets. Like I said before, rangerstopatlanta.com. This June, I'll be there, and I'm hoping to see you there, Jessica.
Yes, I cannot
I'll
wait to meet you in person.
I'll find some spandex. So yeah. Thank you everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.